See, because I mean, if we're going to address what happened on Saturday, I think that it should be said that it was historic that both Richard Simmons and Dr. Ruth passed away on the same day. Two celebrities that matched each other's freak so much.
100%, yeah.
Do you think they ever explored each other's bodies?
I saw Wallace Shawn die. Wallace Shawn is dead.
For roping. I like that. You're a jabroni. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night. It's What the Show. My name is AJ Lancaster. Our guest is Brandon Buckingham. And when we put the thumbnail of the Trevor Moore and the Assassinate the President sketch and said things happened with Brandon Buckingham, we didn't think about things happened with. Anyway, Brandon.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks. AJ, that intro is all you. So is all I'm going to say. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Now you fucked up.
100%. That was beautiful, AJ. Truly beautiful. Hi, everyone. We may or may not have a juice. He's having power issues. I don't know. Things are happening. So we may or may not be seeing him. But we're here. AJ's here. Buck is here. We're going to be talking receiver. We're also going to be talking. We think we're officially a Bill Paxton appreciation show. So everyone, welcome aboard for that.
Y'all were like giving me shit about all of the love I was showing to his greatest role of all time. Everyone's coming around. Pina Coladaburg was established 7.5 years before Margaritaville was even on the map.
On the map, baby. I'm just saying, no one reads a line of dialogue the way Bill Paxton reads a line. Like some of his line readings are just.
We watched Twister. I probably legitimately have not watched Twister since the 90s, and just that man's delivery of so many lines is just. Mwah.
See, it's not even the line delivery. Like going back, it's the unhinged stares. I think Glenn Powell can deliver the lines in a Twister lead, like a Twister lead should. It's the stares.
The unhinged stares. Yeah, I agree. I think that's going to be a little bit difficult. All right. Let's break down. I'm just going to bring up the elephant in the room real quick before we discuss receiver. I mean, about receiver, but whatever. Which is, I don't know why we make these shows, these docuseries about football players and their lives and whatever. Because what I was told all last year is that we don't care about their personal lives, right? We only care when they catch ball or block someone from catching ball. Just play the football. We're here for the pure grit of the sport. I don't care about your wives and your girlfriends and your feelings. With that said, I fucking do. I love y'all. I love when they give me someone to root for. And I love Hard Knocks. And I love these Netflix shows. And I love basically all sports documentaries. Because what is the purpose of watching sports if you don't have people to root for?
So before we jump into receiver, we actually just watched this week's episode of Hard Knocks. This off-season Hard Knocks is something else. It is. Shows. I don't know why in their right mind, after what is being aired right now, any team will ever agree to do this ever again. Like, what made the Giants think that? Like, the only thing I can think of is the Giants were told, "You are in the running to be the preseason team. If you do this offseason one, we'll play you off the table." The information that is coming out from this Hard Knocks is so ridiculous. They are sending themselves under the bus. You're watching them. the GM and the other members of the organization contradict each other. And some of these decisions that we are watching happen, they happened a couple of months ago. This should never be public information.
Do we think Hard Knocks is ever going to do a season like this again? Because I don't know if it's the call.
I feel like Roger Goodell's gonna be okay. Nope, that was it. We're not doing that again.
Yeah.
Ever again. I was like, like some of it I liked last episode with the combine interview.
The combine stuff was fun.
That's interesting. Like that's something we don't usually get to see. You kind of like feel for the players. Like it's a stressful situation. It's interesting to see what they ask them, how it works, stuff like that. But the rest of it, it's like I feel like I've been caught watching things that I should not be watching. I shouldn't be privy to this intel.
It is absolutely crazy. And so like you compare it, I know last year the Jets got when they were forced to do Hard Knocks, they said they had a term which the league did say okay to, in that they did not want to show them cutting anybody. So I'm like, the Giants couldn't say you don't hear them.
They didn't want to show cuts, but the Giants were like, free reign in the edit. It's fine.
You want to see when we find out that Saquon signed with the Eagles? Okay.
It's like, okay, you're filming in the same building.
Yeah.
It's so.
What is the D? Am I out of the loop on something?
Tenacious D.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
They got canceled as in like canceled.
We'll talk about that off air.
Okay, heard that. Heard them there. Juice is mostly okay. He's having some power issues.
Yeah.
He may not be joining.
We don't know if Juice is going to make it or not. He said that the forecasted outage should have him back here, but he can't guarantee that based on what his power was.
He's got the touch, but the power.
Yeah.
But
before we dive into receiver, I know Buck is going to get a little mad at me right now. I do have to do our
You son of a bitch!
weekly recap.
Want to trade?
Yeah.
what you got to do is start working trade deals, because I have got some things in the works. So maybe
I told Mike I'm probably not even gonna think about stuff till actual draft night, just because it depends on how that first round transpires.
Right.
Fair.
Because
so
that first half that could go any freaking way, and I have no idea.
last year we had 3 people auto drafting, so that totally changed everything. So you just don't know. As of today, I think that the back 4 are actually the back 6 are probably pretty set. So there's 2 to be released, which is still Twisters, which actually did come out tonight, and Deadpool and Wolverine. So Twisters is John Mariano. Deadpool and Wolverine happens to be myself. The other 12 movies are out. There's 1 or 2 of them that could change, but I think this is probably pretty close to what the final order is going to be. 12th is AJ Lancaster with Back to Black, which is already on Peacock. In 11th, we have Brandon Buckingham with Maxine. In 10th, we have Justin the Juice with Taro. In 9th, we have Miss Bethany Deacon with Furiosa. In 8th, we have Garfield for Jacob Blunden. 7th is The Fall Guy for Mark Moose Haas. 6th, we got If for Larry Payne. 5th, we have Quiet Place Day 1 for William Harold. 4th, we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes for Chance Ellison. 3rd, we have Bad Boys Ride or Die for Jeremiah Morris. Currently in 2nd is everyone's favorite, the Despicable Me himself, PLD. And in 1st place, which I think is, there's not a chance in hell he's not picking first, is PJ Campbell, who had Inside Out 2.
Yeah.
I really think yours can make a run at it.
It's got to make $600 million. You're talking Avengers money.
I think
It's impossible.
It's rated R.
Yeah, but like it's a lot of people that'll
but
peek
it's
into it.
Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman now.
One of the
But,
things. Go ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know the numbers themselves, but isn't like the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time in the 300 million range?
Domestic. I think Joker did more than that. Domestic.
Did it?
No, you're right. Joker beat it was Passion of the Christ, and then Joker beat that. You are correct on that. I just don't know what Joker.
Joker was 335 domestic. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say so
society.
In order for Deadpool and Wolverine to get me number 1, it has to double the current R-rated box office record.
That's not completely out of the question. It's not.
I'm just saying I want it to happen because fuck you, Mike Deegan.
Yeah.
I will be holding up that number 1 pick for auction.
I want everyone to know that I've only seen one of all these movies that are eligible. I have seen one of them twice, and shockingly, it's not my movie.
Buck, what movie do you think Bethany saw twice?
Garfield.
No.
Quiet Place.
Yeah, and that's really not a
because
smart.
As soon as you said not my movie, I'm like, well, she has Furiosa, so obviously it's not that one.
We went together because I wanted to see it, and then my friend saw me wanted to see it, and we have A-list, and I was like, it's not it's really costing me money. I mean, I am giving more money to the box office, but it doesn't really cost me more money, and I liked it, and I was like, sure, yeah, I'll go see it again. And then I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I giving William more money?
So
but remember, that's going to be kind to me.
So then he can take Amon-Ra away from you.
I really shouldn't have picked the other Lions fan to go support their movie choices. It wasn't my smoothest move. It really wasn't my smoothest move. But, the bets have been made. Do you think that anyone on planet Earth hates something as much as Davante Adams hates playing for the Raiders? Because I don't think
what a transition.
No, I think he's grown on them a little bit since the coaching change.
He likes Pierce, I think.
He does.
But man, for a couple episodes there, I was like, I don't think anyone in the world hates anything as much as Davante Adams hates the Raiders. He really hates this team.
I wanted to kind of just break this down by each player, kind of in a little way, kind of looking at them from 2 different aspects. And we'll start with Adams because you led us right into that.
You're welcome for that segue.
What do you think of the after watching receiver off the field and then on the field, as a teammate, and then what you see of them off the field? What are your thoughts about each of these players? We'll start with Adams. Buck, lead us off.
So I think the first thing that stands out to me is with him and who's Max Crosby, how they showed up to that one game wearing the exact same outfit, and that is not the first time they've done that. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I really liked how much of a family man he is.
Yeah.
That is something that obviously certain players I don't follow very closely. So I didn't really know that about him. That he's family from this show. That's what it looked like to me. He's family is very important to him, and he doesn't like Jimmy G as his quarterback for sure.
No.
Big Jimmy G hater.
As Bethany said, he don't think he hates anything more. And also, Josh McDaniels was just an awful, awful coach. I mean, we saw it as soon as they made the change. Raiders seemed to be a more competent team, and Adams seemed to actually have fun playing.
And I think, players respecting you, it's a big difference. A team, if they, are in the right headspace, half of it's a mental game, right? So if they're in the right headspace, I don't think anyone liked. I feel since they switched to Pierce as the new coach.
Yeah, Antonio Pierce.
I feel they all really rallied around him and wanted to win for him, and that makes a big difference.
My question about Davante Adams, and this after watching that, prior to watching this, I would have thought he's the type of guy who, he is reaching the twilight of his career. He's probably only got a couple years left. I was like, this is the guy who hypothetically will probably go chase a ring. After watching this, I don't know if I could see him going to a team that he's the outright number 1 player on the team, and he's going to get the ball every fucking play because he just wants to pad his stats.
Yeah. There was that quote. Basically, he said, I don't care about wins. I only care about my excellence.
My legacy and my excellence, I think, were the two words that he used. And
very egotistical, I would say a slightly selfish player. I think every player
is
a little bit selfish.
Well, I don't know about one of them who's on this show.
True. We will get to
him next.
But I think everyone is a little like, obviously no one dreams of playing in the NFL and being like, and I'm gonna warm the bench and get a ring by like, that's no little kid's dream. Like, I get that all of them want to be a star. Like, that's, come on. But he just seems very like,
I want the ball every play. It does not matter if we score.
I mean, do you blame him? Like, I still think with a decent quarterback, he is still a top 10 wide receiver.
Oh, he's very good at what he does. There's no denying that. And I get being frustrated, but like, I don't know. Like, he just like, there's certain people from both quarterback and now receiver, and obviously watching Hard Knocks for years. Like, there are certain people that are frustrated for like the team. Like, yes, it's for them. Like, I don't want to be a loser. I would like whatever. But like, if you can just tell, like for instance, last year Patrick Mahomes gained a lot of respect for me because he is just a competitor. Like, he just like Michael Jordan, like just he wanted the rings. He wanted he just wanted
Jordan that you've seen.
You know, like people like that I can respect. They're passion players. Like, yes, obviously they want to look good, but like you can tell that they just like they hate losing. Like, they hate losing as a team. As I feel like Davante Adams is the type of person who doesn't really mind that the team loses. He just hates looking dumb, personally. Like, he wants to get good receptions. He wants to get touchdowns. He wants his stats to be padded. And it's not like, oh, we lost. Because remember, the one game they won, and he was, like, still pissy because,
he had one reception.
Yeah, and I'm like, I get that frustrating. Like,
the thing that I got out of it is he hates losing and not padding his stats.
Yeah.
Because there was, like, one game right after they made the change.
The Chargers game.
He had one catch, but they won in a convincing fashion. He was fine with that because it's when they lose and then he doesn't get to pad his stats is when he was getting mad.
Yeah.
And
but I think off the field he seems like a good dude. Like, I do love him with his family.
Yeah, the very first episode 2 where they brought him in initially, and they showed him with his girl's birthday party, and a lot of the people not realizing it was A, either not knowing who he was, period, or B, not realizing that's whose party they were going to. Yeah. I got a kick out of that scene, and he was also very cool to everybody with that. He's like, hey, he just walked up to them and said, hey, I'm Davante. And like, could you imagine, like, if you went to a birthday party, Buck, and it was, for a little kid, like a little kid's birthday party, and you did not realize that Davante Adams was their father, and he just walked up and said, hey, I'm Davante.
Hey, I have you on my fantasy team. Multiple.
Here's the thing, though. I also think that Buck was going to a children's birthday party. You know.
He would know. I guess he would know. Well, would you know if you just saw like it's for Nora? Like, would you automatically know?
Like, if you didn't know the last name or anything.
Because he doesn't have like a very like Adams.
Adams is a common last name.
Yeah.
Until you show up and you're like, oh, you're Davante, and then it's like, oh.
First question so how much of a pain in the ass is Aaron? Aaron.
I do like his like love for Taco Bell. That was kind of funny.
Like, that's legit. Like, I think it's actually real.
Truth in advertising.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, he's like he stands Taco Bell hard. We respect.
That was like the dream endorsement for him.
Yeah. That was the happiest I saw him.
Probably, he's like, all right, agent, get me endorsement with Taco Bell. That's all I want.
It's funny. I actually the other day I put on TBS by chance, and it had an Adam Sandler marathon, and Happy Gilmore came on. It's like Happy Gilmore's reaction to getting his Subway endorsement. That literally was Davante Adams with Taco Bell.
Cut combo.
So that's I said that we were going to shift into the one guy who I think does not care about his own stats, cares about wins, and is the person of this group of 5 who is probably the most what the show of anybody on this show, and that's George Kittle.
Yeah, just a big golden retriever kid, man.
Yeah, he was my favorite by far. Like, you could tell a couple episodes in, they're like, yeah, we're gonna focus like on Kittle and Amon-Ra.
Yeah,
right. because they were the two most
feel
compelling,
like-
I think.
And this is no shade to Debo, but like it would have been a shame if they did the 49ers and only focused on him because like he just of the 5 didn't have like he seems very nice and very likable and like he had some good moments, but he just like is the least interesting.
He's the most low key of the
Yeah.
5. Like he's not good TV. He's a great teammate, but he's not good TV.
And so
Plus, it's not called running back.
Well, that too.
it was nice.
Do a whole season on call it Netflix's wide back. Come on.
Like watching this, like I think Debo would be better suited as a coach than an analyst.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he would be
I don't
great
think
on
the
TV after the
personality
fact,
for
but he'd be
it.
a great coach. I think.
But he does seem like a really sweet guy. And I told Mike the other night we were watching Receiver that I was like, I think all tight ends have a screw loose. I think they're all.
You have to.
I think they're all.
Yeah.
And I say that like with full love.
Like the one thing that I love about with Kittle is he was like speaking things into existence. Like that is huge for him. Like I knew Kittle was a little different. I didn't realize how different that man really was.
Oh, he's a weird dude.
He's easily the star. Like when we first started watching it, I saw Debo and I'm like, oh, people are gonna look at Debo and I'm like, oh, this guy's really down to earth. He's wholesome and stuff. And I'm like, his fantasy football draft stock is gonna go up. Nope, it's Kittle. Kittle's draft stock probably went up like a full round because of this. Because everybody's gonna want him.
He is just so like
It did.
He's just fun. And
It did.
AJ's like it did.
Yeah, he went from 8 to 7, and then he was about to pass Kyle Pitts, but then the whole thing about Pitts playing wide receiver and tight end came out,
Right.
and then Kyle Pitts went back up. So
Right.
yeah, it went up probably good 8 to 10 places.
I can totally see that. He definitely has.
He's
some
gonna get the
charisma.
bump. Yeah, and the thing with Kittle too is Kittle is similar to like you could tell me that Kittle is gonna host some kind of be on like late night shows or something like that, and you know
Supposed to wipe out.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that would be so
the
perfect.
perfect job for him.
Kittle on Wipeout. That's a dream gig right there.
Post football career Kittle, get him on Wipeout. He'd be so good. I definitely think he's gonna do some like stuff with WWE. Like,
It's zero doubt that he's
zero
going to
doubt.
do something with them, and he's already shown up for them a couple times.
Yeah, he did some stuff with McAfee that was hilarious.
Yeah,
he was
and
like
he got
in the crowd and did some goofy shit.
and the memo that the 49ers sent to him after that was like one of the funniest things you'll ever read. I don't remember word for word what it said, but it's like, we appreciate you going and having a good time at WrestleMania. Never fucking do that again.
it's like that. We need you like healthy though and not injured for our You are under contract, sir.
Well, especially the news that came out yesterday, they're really gonna need Kittle.
With Ayuk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're saying they're refusing it. So Ayuk has officially requested a trade. And as of right now, the 49ers are standing put that they are not going to trade him. So he's just going to sit out training camp for certain almost.
So maybe I should try and trade all my shares of Ayuk right now. Get as much as I can.
I got so much Ayuk.
Yeah, I do too.
I think at least 6 best ball teams. I've only drafted about 40. It's about 15%.
Actually, let me check.
Oh,
I can't with the two of you and the amount of.
Well, also,
Hey, I've actually lost like 5 this year that I didn't re-add. So
Whoa, Buck! Now he's only down to 45 instead of 50 leagues.
and I'm
weren't you at like
drafting.
38 or something last year, Buck?
what?
What was the official number last year? It was like high 30s or low 40s.
Let me see.
I thought you hit 40 last year.
It's possible. Honestly.
We while you're looking that up, I think
46.
I am going to 36.
46.
46.
46. Yes.
I am thinking about doing on anybody who does Underdog, and I'll put up a link for this soon, that maybe we'll do a best ball What the Show League on Underdog.
How does this work?
That's where you do the draft. You don't do anything else. You just draft the best scores.
And they pick whoever had the best
And it's
scores.
automatically your best lineup every week.
Got you.
So you just do it once, and you don't even have to look at it again.
5 out of 46 is what I have for Brandon Ayuk.
It's not that much.
Yeah,
I mean,
actually,
speaking.
I thought it was more. Yeah,
It's slightly more exposure than
best ball is nice because the one thing each week that's frustrating is picking the right guy. This
Right.
you either draft the right guys and then you move them on and off with the waiver wire, and then
Well, and I love that there's certain players that I will draft all the time in best ball that I will never touch in like a regular league. Broncos, the Broncos. Actually.
I was going to say
the
Broncos.
I was going to say Broncos running backs, but the Broncos.
Sutton maybe Sutton's but not in best ball. I think that'd be in a deep fantasy league.
So we briefly mentioned Debo. Let's just kind of jump into Debo real quick.
We'll lump the 49ers together, much like the show did. Also, okay, one more thing about Kittle. Like we were saying, he's like the opposite of Devontae Adams. But there literally was one episode that I was like, I do think he would just he'll be past his prime, he can't play anymore, and he'll be like, "Can I just wear the bench, guys? I just want to be here. I just love football. Oh, it's fine. We won the Super Bowl ring, and I'm on the bench. It's fine." I think he would be that person.
You're the you're the 49ers front office, and tomorrow they say we want Brandon for Devontae Adams in the second round draft pick. Do you take that?
No.
Devontae and a second?
Yeah.
Nope, because of age.
Yeah.
If they
do you want
said
that, or do you want
Devontae, and I would just hang up the phone. I would just, if I'm John Lynch, I hang up the phone. Mainly due to age, because I don't think I think their window is still pretty large.
Yeah.
And the thing with the 49ers, they don't have to panic trade him right now. If he sits out, they drafted Ricky Pearsall. Yeah, obviously it's a rookie learning curve, but they have another wide receiver there, and you have
he did go on the non-football injury list though, which who knows how long that's going to be.
And Juwan Jennings is still very good.
Yeah,
he's still very good.
They don't have to force a trade.
I just think if you're ring chasing hard for this year, I don't know, man.
I think last year was their year and they missed it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna go all the way this year because the line.
The motherfucking Detroit Lions are going to win the Super Bowl.
Is because Patrick Mahomes had a down year last year, and they still made it and won it with just Kelsey having a down year, having no wide receivers, and now
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown and the fastest guy in the league.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown and what was Worthy, right?
Yeah, Xavier Worthy. Hands might have rookie level Tyreek Hill hands, but he's the fastest motherfucker in the league.
All right, so to Debo, Debo, I think is the one we have the least to say about because, quite honestly, of the five, he was the least interesting on the show. I just gonna call a spade a spade. On the field, in what he actually does, I wouldn't say that about him, but. Of these five personalities, he's the one that didn't give them as much as the other four did.
I don't know. Justin Jefferson was kind of to me, but I don't know if that's
Bethany doing the hold my earrings.
I was okay, hold on.
Maybe it was because he was injured and they didn't be able to use him for a large portion.
The on-the-field stuff with Justin Jefferson is definitely the least of the five.
Yeah. I got some good... I know we're supposed to be talking about Debo right now, but since you brought Jefferson up, I didn't know much about him. I obviously, his off-the-field, his personality or anything. I've never really seen him in an interview, I guess, shockingly. All I know is I used to play for LSU, boo. And he currently plays for the Vikings, which, boo. I don't know. The man's destined to wear yellow and purple, I guess. And
I knew that's where she was going. So, he went to LSU. So
And,
automatically, boo.
just like screw him. And so don't like it. So didn't really feel. I mean, like I know he's good at his job, but I was like, I don't know anything about this kid. And then we started off, and he's like talking about his chains, and I thought honestly he was gonna be like Devontae. Like I thought he was gonna be like an egotistical, like my shit don't stink, like I'm the best, whatever. And then like he really charmed me. Like first of all, he's also kind of just a big kid. His family is so sweet. I love him and his family. I don't know whose house they were filming in, but there's no way that's his because their neighbors way too close. And if you're Justin Jefferson,
that's just a regular subdivision.
I'm like, is this his family's house? Like his parents' house? I'm confused. Just a regular subdivision house. So I was very confused about that. But I just found him really charming and endearing. And I think that he has a true heart of a competitor. I like that when he was injured, the way he was kind of talking about it. And he really sounded like, there were a couple times, and again, like this is gonna sound like I don't care about people. I do. I want it to be clear that like I understand that these are all human beings and they need to take care of themselves. And you can only play football for so many years, and you're gonna have a whole life after it. And these people have children. And I want them to have good knees and good arms and good shoulders to play with their children and their grandchildren, whatever. But there are a couple of times, like Debo, for instance, kind of gave off like, well, if my arm's not right, I'm not going in there because I don't want to hurt myself today. Which I respect.
That is Debo. Like Debo spent a lot of time injured, and he is a running back. He's a wide receiver who plays running back too.
Yeah,
Debo's injuries, like
I just feel like
he's not long for this league.
I always respect someone who's, and again, I'm not saying like this is the mentally healthy choice, but I always respect someone who's like, I don't care that a fucking broken leg, put me in the game, coach. Like that is that. Like I like a passion player, and I felt like Jefferson was giving me that. Do I actually want him to go in with a broken leg? No, obviously. Look after number one. Like look after yourself. Okay, put your mental and your physical health first. But like, I like a player who wants to play, just love play.
She wants Drew Baker, not Ricky Vaughn or Willie Mays Hayes.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
I just realized that Bethany is not a gamer, so hasn't seen the Greg Jennings Madden clip.
Oh my gosh!
No, I don't know.
I'm sharing this in the group chat as soon as we're done with the stream.
Okay.
It's so funny. Oh
there's a stream of somebody getting Greg Jennings a touchdown with a broken femur in Madden like 2012.
Yeah,
it's so good.
You're so hilarious. It's so
I also like. He just seems so sweet with kids. Like he seems so sweet with his like niece and nephew. And I didn't know the story of the Gritty and his little dance, and I love that it's like about his like roots in Louisiana, and he's like brought this like very like his thing to a national scale, and now all these people are doing it, and like I don't know, like I just think that's sweet. I gained a lot of respect.
Mike Gesicki though, don't do it again.
And something.
Please, God, Mike Gesicki, never again.
It was so good though.
I
can relate with you, Bethany. I don't talk so much about like my family's like Ohio State obsession. Like I need you guys to know the depth of my family's Ohio State fandom obsession. Okay, when I got home from the hospital, I hadn't worked I hadn't had a Saturday off like during football season in 8 years. Yeah. Because of tradition, okay? Because of my brother's Ohio State rituals with his family on Saturdays. When I was home from the hospital, did I go over to his place to watch the game? No, because I don't have a seat there.
Yeah, that's bad. You can't break that. Like, if you're not usually there, why would you be there?
Hard Knocks Lions came out,
it could break
and
you.
Aiden Hutchinson was the guy.
Right.
And I was just like, I love that guy. Like I do not care about standing prejudices. No, I showed them the clip of Billie Jean, and they were down for that white boy.
See, I know all about the college traditions. I was present for what was it, a 33-year streak?
It would have been the 33rd year.
So a 32-year streak was broken because I was in attendance.
Ooh. And you're still
I'm no
married?
longer allowed to watch Florida, Kentucky.
No,
not even on TV.
Not even on TV. I tell him he's not even allowed to think about college football when Florida.
I need you guys to listen to the replay because what came out was, and you're still married, and you guys went no.
Wow.
We are still married. This happened. I agreed to marry him. This happened before we were even engaged, and I still agreed to marry this man. And I'm, my family is okay with it, and it's very shocking to me. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, AJ was present with us for a Florida Kentucky game.
Yeah, which we lost again, which was when he was banned from watching them on the TV. I was like, well, okay, when we watch it on TV, we're cursed. So I guess that you were not allowed to watch it. Period.
It was also AJ getting to watch football.
I would like to say that, though, I don't care if it comes out that Joe Burrow personally rescues kittens in his time off and reads to the elderly. Fuck that man, and I hope that he steps on 10,000.
God, you really hate Louisiana State University, don't you?
And for the Paul skis, I hope that tonight, in the middle of the night, you wake up and you just step on a whole Death Star set of Legos.
I'm sorry, Bethany. He's the most exciting player in Major League.
I don't care if I had to watch that man tie his cleat one more time.
Yeah, he's probably going to win Rookie of the Year, and he may even.
Good for him.
He's going to be paid so much money by the Dodgers or the Yankees in like 5 years.
Jack's coming into the league next year, baby, and he's taking it by storm.
Went to Kansas City?
He did, and he's going to play for the Royals. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, like it sucked that Justin Jefferson wasn't literally on like the last 3 episodes.
Yeah,
he did get probably
a little bit
some of the least amount of screen time.
But I mean, it makes sense.
His family,
I do think this year, like Justin Jefferson, of the 5 players, when it comes to actual football this year, I think of the 5 is the most. He has the most natural talent of the 5. Like it comes naturally to him more so that like we're going to talk about St. Brown in a minute. St. Brown works his ass off. Justin Jefferson.
St. Brown has a chip the size of Texas on his shoulder.
Yes.
I love that. I see. That's the kind of I love that in a player.
Yeah. Jefferson is like he has just a natural talent to him that very few people in any sport are ever gifted with. And obviously he has a quarterback situation that's very, very uncertain this year. We don't know. But to say that he's not, if not outright the best wide receiver in football, he's top 2 or 3 outright in terms of like just
he's top 3 and he's not 2 or 3.
Yeah. I
think
100%.
And we saw it, 22, just how dominant he is.
Mm-hmm. It's insane because obviously, there's a certain player on the Cowboys who's probably going to, and the stat line, look like he's better because he's on a team that has, where it's going to be a one-dimensional offense, and he has a quarterback. But you put those 2 next to each other, give me Jefferson all day. In real football.
Yeah.
So it's just because the quarterback situation is more known, I might take CD Lamb.
But so what I'm saying though is like say both of them had Dak Prescott, Jefferson
JJ.
would
JJ in a heartbeat. Like there's no disputing. I think JJ's the best wide receiver in the NFL.
He's the first one. I don't know if I can say outright since Megatron, because Megatron when he was at his peak was so much further above everybody.
Oh yeah, it's not even like no one's close. And it's going to be hard for anyone to get there. Like he was
playing a different position.
He was
at that point. Like, and he's actually going into the Lions Ring of Honor. I'm sure you saw that, but deservedly so. That is in our lifetime. And this is funny to say, but it's true. There were 2 players that I think that were just hands down the most dominant player at their position, and they were both fucking Lions. When they were terrible in Barry Sanders and Megatron. Who were just in this league above them. And Megatron, I've said this to Bethany, and this, Buck, like if you go back 15 years in fantasy purposes. Quarterbacks used to go in the first 5 picks. Running backs made up the most of the first round. Wide receivers would start going in the second or third round. Megatron was the number 1 overall pick a couple of years in the late aughts, which was unheard of at the time.
Yeah, I wish we could have seen him in the playoffs. I think he would have dominated.
Wish we could have seen him in the playoffs. That is so. Oh, you forget about reality sometimes.
Forget about reality sometimes.
They just.
Can we talk about?
All right, so let's move on
my
to
favorite player.
her boy.
My boy about around St. Brown. Can I just say, this man, obviously I love him. I love his girlfriend. She's fantastic. I said in our group chat, in our fantasy football chat, put a ring on it, buddy. Put a ring on it. She is the one. If she can deal with your crazy ass father, she is the one. Okay.
I mean, he did sign his extension now, so
John Brown is his dad.
I
always forget. I didn't watch this, by the way.
His family, you should really watch it. It's good. His family is so interesting. So we first learned about his family in Hard Knocks, and I was just fascinated by them. And then getting to see more of them. And again, like, they do seem to have a good relationship. I do think they're all like, okay, Dad's a bit much sometimes, because he is. But like, it is just so interesting, like the way that, you know, like he was raised, and just like the discipline and like different ways that both of his parents like kind of like raised them. Like his mom was like, okay, you're gonna get, you know, kind of the brains from me, and she was very, you know, obviously diligent about them learning German and stuff like that. And then obviously his dad was like such a stage dad. Like he was just like, my kids are gonna have, you know, and like the name picking out, and they're just everything. It's just so fascinating.
It's
and
just weird.
It's like
his parents are Goku and Chi-Chi.
Sure.
Dragon Ball Z. Sorry, I just realized this. You need to go train. Like, no, you need to learn from books. There.
It's so impressive to me, like how normal he is in a sense, considering all that, and like how like. You know what I mean? Like he turned out all right, and that is honestly sort of shocking.
There's one thing I will say about that man, and there's very few athletes that I've ever seen like this. Is that work ethic he has is second to none. Like
that's the type of
the
person,
hardest working guy in the NFL.
That again, if I was drafting a football team or any kind of team, like that's the person that I like. The second that man became my favorite player was when we were watching Hard Knocks and they first mentioned the list. The second he, from memory, was like, I'm going to list you the people that were drafted in front of you, and that pisses me off, and I'm going to show you how good I'm going to be.
Some of the people in front of him, though.
This man this is my boy. This is my boy. And he still plays with that chip on his shoulder, and it is everything.
That list, like when the list came up, and I you know, it came up during Hard Knocks, and I didn't remember every name on it, and then it came up again in receiver. I'm like, holy fuck, some of these guys are already not even in the league.
Yeah, like some of them, some of them are just like bad. I'm like, wow, some teams just cannot draft.
Listen, every draft has a N'Keal Harry.
So literally, I just watched the Urinating Tree put out like their 5-year recap of the 2019 draft, and wow, did they rip him to shreds?
Yeah, every draft.
It doesn't make sense because he was so good at Arizona State,
right? And then
good.
And then Jacoby Myers, who was drafted like 6 rounds later, just stole the job from him, and he's still in the league. He's on the Chicago Bears. He's talking about on the practice squad.
As a tight end, by the way.
Yes, as a tight end. That's right.
I was preaching about it, and then we got distracted by drafts.
I thought it was funny, the little segment they had with his brother when they were talking on the podcast, and then like it looked like he was gonna lose. And he's like, oh my god, this is gonna be it. But
it's gonna be real bad for me.
Like, it's weird that his brother is not good at all, which just shows he's good because, like Mike said, that work ethic.
Yeah.
And his brother has like the better physical stats. I remember right.
His brother's bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. His brother's bigger, but he's not very good. And also re-watching this, like I bet Bethany rewatching the NFC Championship game, that probably was just like
It was very painful.
This is just gut wrenching. And
And
I'm like, yes, they made it this far because of their coach, but their coach probably cost them that game.
Listen, we do not stand for MCDC slander on this one. You let me know that fourth down, baby.
You mean Dan Campbell, the offensive coordinator for the Cornhuskers in my CFB 25 dynasty?
Oh my gosh, AJ.
Okay, so when we started this season, I was like, this is so fun because obviously we get to follow like my favorite player and my favorite team. And then as we were going through it though, and I was like, oh, but this isn't fun because I have to relive some like painful moments. And I obviously knew. And then it like sucks because you're also following the 49ers. And so like you like them and you're like happy for them, but I'm not. And then like I'm also mad at them because like Kittle's on the sideline like making jokes. And I know that he's right that we did have him in the first half and then it is going to all fall apart. And I'm like, I hate this. I don't want to do this. This is not a fun episode for me. So that sucked.
Wait. Did Kittle drop they had us in the first half? I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said it in his post-game interview, but he literally was saying it on the sidelines during the first half. Again, talking about like willing things into existence. He was like, I can't wait to say at the end of this game, they had us in the first half, not gonna lie. And like, damn it if he was. But like, also like that is the positivity of George Kittle. Like the rest of the team is like hanging their heads on the sidelines, like this game is over. And he's over there like, it's fine. Like, they're gonna have us in the first half, but like we're gonna come back. And like, damn it if he wasn't right.
George Kittle is if you took Andrew WK and a golden retriever and put them in a football player's body.
It's basically the vibe. That like literally. Also, he should not be named George. A man like that. I'm like, that is just such a boring ass name for the person that you are. Your name should not be George. Like anytime they said, I'm like, that's not his name. That's not his name. That's just that.
So I find it also interesting. We've had 2 seasons of this. And one of the players, both of them make it to the Super Bowl. Like, what's going to happen when they pick someone and they don't make it to the playoff? Like,
I was like,
the Netflix stretch that into 8 episodes.
No,
so that's the reason it works.
Let's bring this up actually right now because, like, we were talking, the educated guess is if they continue on this path, it's running back next year. So the hypothetical that it's running back.
I would like to see DBs. Like, I would love because of the how ego driven they are. I would love to see one with DBs.
Yeah, I was saying I would like to see some defensive players.
And Mike can probably guess my first guess as to who I want on if they do DBs.
I mean, if they're doing DBs, would you want Patrick Peterson or Sauce?
No, Sauce.
Yeah.
Sauce.
You gotta get Sauce PS2.
If they do that, he's the first person they call. There's zero doubt about that because of his personality and how good he is. But so let's do both. Let's do the hypothetical DBs and the hypothetical running backs. So let's say they do 5 of each. So Sauce, I think, is a unanimous. If they're doing DBs, it's Sauce. That's happening.
Yep.
Jalen Ramsey, I would think they would do because they want a veteran.
Yeah.
That does seem to be kind of.
Gotta do PS2.
Yes. So that's 3. I think that would be immediately asked.
But
I think 5. I think the one on receiver. I felt like it was too many. Like I would rather. Like I like what they did in quarterback 3.
3. Yeah, I would like.
I like 3. I think 2 is not enough because it's just you can't fill it. And I feel like 5, like there's too much, and you don't get as
maybe
much.
Even 4 next year, just in case.
So let's split the difference. Say 4
to kind of maybe have the hope that at least one of the teams makes it to the playoffs. Maybe they have to. I don't know, something like that. They should just do something from the Lions again because we're doing it. We're going all the way.
Yeah, do Jahmyr Gibbs.
We might.
Well, Jahmyr Gibbs for running back.
Yeah, you can do it. I'm saying we have lots of great.
I think so. Going to running back. I mean, obviously, I think more likely than not they'd go to McCaffrey because he's he's the best in the league. I think Jonathan Taylor would get the phone call. Because he's been such a prominent figure. And I think Saquon gets the call. The 4th one is
Hmm.
You can call me a Homer, James Conner, just because of how good his story is.
And
Well,
he has that cancer survivor story.
The cancer survivor story is definitely, I give you that, Buck. Like his backstory is something that, like, by the end of it, he'd have the entire country rooting for him.
Can I also address real quick, because I feel like we didn't have enough time to give Amon-Ra enough left. Receiver. Then we can go to Dreamcasting future seasons. Okay, so first of all, passion, chip on his shoulder. We love those things. Great dry sense of humor. I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for how funny he is, because he's just like really, really serious, and then all of a sudden he just like hits
deadpan.
You. He like hits you with a little like dry humor. Just seems like a big sweetie, absolute, good family man, just smart, amazing. Okay, thank you. I'm good now. We can carry on. I just wanted to give him a little bit more love.
All right. So
and again, I just want one more thing. Not really about him, but kind of about him. But yeah, showing again who I tend to go for more, I guess. But yeah, like at the end of the day, I think you always want to get someone who's going to have the heart and the competitive passion and stuff like that. Like that person, the person who's going to want to show up and play for you and run through a wall for you. Like that's the type of person. I don't want someone like Devontae Adams who's like, what's in it for me? Like, no.
Well, it was so funny. The first year that I did best ball, Amon-Ra was like, he was one of my favorite sleeper picks in the entire draft.
He wasn't even drafted. If he was drafted, he was in like round 15 or 16.
Yeah, his 12th round of best ball, and so that means 12th round in best ball, you're grabbing all the wide receivers, like basically in the first 4 rounds. So you're drafting like wide receiver 75 in the 12th round of best ball. He was like completely counted out, and then I grabbed him in our league too. I grabbed him with one of the last picks, and I dropped him.
Oh, you want worse? I had a league. I actually. Jefferson's rookie year, his first 3 games, he didn't do shit. I drafted him in like the 14th round and dropped him because he hadn't done anything, and I needed to fill a position, and then he went off.
I think the year that Jamar Chase was, I think Jamar Chase's rookie year, somebody dropped him a year too.
Yeah, in the What the Show that was not the What the Show league. That was still the Schmo Ball. That year, if I remember correctly.
I can't remember what he did, but this just came to my mind. Another suggestion for DB, only because his son is freaking awesome. Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah. Trayvon Diggs' son would be the star of the show.
Yeah.
And we love
and you could do Trayvon Duran playing like on the same team, like
right. Yeah, I mean that's fair.
God, the Cowboys defense.
I really like quarterback. I thought receiver was good, very good. I'm excited to see where they take it.
No, the series as a whole.
Wherever they go, I'm following.
Yeah, I think I was more compelled by quarterback with the way that the narrative was done and I think it goes back to saying because it was less players, and then Mariota was like pretty much written out like 2/3 of the way.
And the fact that
I'm pretty sure he was out in episode 3 because
Yeah, I hope. Seriously, what are the odds? Like, I mean, obviously, yes, they picked people that they think are very good and are on very good teams. But like, what? Like, they really did luck out that the first 2 seasons they had a team that went all the way to the Super Bowl. So
that's oh my god! What if they do running back, right? And running back, they get 4 guys, and they're all out for the season, like by week 9.
And that's the thing. Like, you don't know if these people are going to get injured, and like the
running back, especially.
Third episode. Of wide receiver, it's like literally half of them were out. Like there was a period.
Oh, that was something I did not mention. I literally looked at that thing and I was like, holy crap! I just realized that like everyone with the exception of Kittle, and even Kittle actually did get hurt too, but he went back in because he just got shot up and went back in. But every one of them missed at least a little bit of time.
Yeah. And like, what happens if they don't go back? Like. Again, like they were fortunate that they followed Kirk Cousins the year that they did. If they would have followed him this year, that's not as good of a story. Like he's out most of the year. Like there's so.
I wonder because I believe a lot of the footage is from NFL films.
A good chunk of it is, yeah.
I wonder if they don't choose them until after the season, and then like they actually go back to talk to some of these guys.
Well, no, because I know that we knew receiver was going to be a thing. We didn't know it was called receiver, but there were cameras following St. Brown during the regular season. Like early, I remember it being like, "Oh, Netflix must be doing another season," and there's.
If you want Lions news, like when it comes to that kind of stuff, she's on it now.
There are so many things in this season when they were doing it. I go, "Oh yeah, I watched that video." Like when they were showing him like filming things or whatever, and I'm like, "Yep, saw that. Yep, I've seen that." Like whatever, because I said, like seriously, I was telling Mike before, like my algorithm, I get random like you're a Michigander when because I follow so much Lions stuff, and I'm like, I don't live in Michigan. I've like barely ever been to Michigan actually. But now I watch.
You're not a Youper?
Yeah, I'm not a Youper. Just for funsies. So the weird things I know about the state of Michigan now, just because they come up in my recommended feed from following the Detroit Lions on social media. I'm like, oh, my algorithm is very confused by me. It doesn't know where I live, what I do. And I love that for me personally.
To be fair, like Michigan's definitely like the second or third wildest state in the nation. Like if you go like Florida man, like Michigan's up there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Justin the Yoop.
And the wildest man in the wilderness, the one, the only Justin the Juice has made it.
Yeah, and he does not have an active microphone.
No.
No. Yeah, no, nothing, Justin.
Well,
hold on. Wait for it. My favorite thing is
so ready.
There we go.
I have had a week. I cannot wait for this hour of what the show.
I saw Wallace Shawn die. Wallace Shawn is dead.
Wait, so did you just come on and turn us off? Like we were in the middle of.
I saw Wallace Shawn die. Wallace Shawn is dead.
It's 2 minutes for roping. I like that. You're a jabroni.